Please make your way up to the front. Fill in all of the nooks and crannies, please.
Hey, good morning, everybody. This career field, we have all been in it for a while, has had our challenges. We have definitely had our challenges over the years. This group has come out the other side of that, and we are truly shining, and we are producing on behalf of the Air Force in ways that is getting recognized probably more than you know or can appreciate.
If you have anybody in your midst, on your teams, that have just stellar programs, understand floor operations better than anyone else, throw their names out to me, because I have items that are going out to schoolhouse that they can really help with.
So that's how that's going to roll. But there's an opportunity there. We've got a lot of different changes that we've been making in the schoolhouse, a lot of different innovation. AFE has had a lot of different changes that have been happening. And I think that we've been, kind of getting after all of those different things, rewriting pretty much every syllabus in the schoolhouse. So.
At AMC, ACC, I didn't care. I was throwing shots at everybody. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing. And then I get pulled up to be in a position where I definitely knew that I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Do you empower 62 people?
Absolutely.
Is it hard to do that? Is it challenging?
Oh yeah, it's our F-35 faces. So just like helping fill those gaps and still empower them so they can grow.
Their expectations are that things be fair, and that's not the way life pans out. It's certainly not in the DoD. Do your job, be quiet.
I had her as a troop. I know how she acts.
If I have a sharp troop that I want to make sure they're taken care of and they're put in a position to exceed and excel, can I start that as a senior airman or a staff sergeant, or how does that go?
What motivates you to be here? Whether that's school, money, time, whatever it may be. If I can make that little give and take there, then they're gonna want to show up to work. They're gonna want to work for me. But you know,
But I would challenge you as you go throughout the rest of this week, and especially today when we focus on expertise, that you expand that, right? It's going to be all of the operational competencies that we have for our career field. So mission, equipment, training, and leadership.
ATC and the 1P community have come together to help develop a video to kind of help with that process. And so I believe it's about a 9-10 minute video. We're going to show that first, and then we'll get into my 3.
As a new flight member, a company would feel inspecting the gear they've been signed off on, haven't had hands-on once if they were in a deployed environment. I'm gonna need that helmet over here, Airman LeBlanc. Now, you get to A-firms by logging onto the portal and typing in DPass. You'll know you're there because you'll see the word ELMS in the upper left hand. Never mind that. All of these competencies need to be learned and mastered before equipment training can begin. It's about focusing first and foremost on producing a top-of-the-line, 5-level airman that can hit the ground running, any place, any time. Pretty simple, right? Oh, and one other thing. Well, there you go. Until next time.
How awesome is that, right? Pretty simple, right? So with that said is competencies and how we're getting after it.
Talking about education, it doesn't stop. We had one of our guys in our office. He just turned 60 plus this last year. He just got his doctorate degree, right? It just means that we're not stopping learning. It doesn't matter the age, what it is.
As far as the AFE program is concerned, it was good. I think with AFE, one of the things that was drilled into our head was trust the TO, to not memorize things, to just, be familiar with working with your hands. Just understand that the TO is going to tell you what to do.
So we actually got to meet each other while he was in tech school. So that was during the STRT. So I got to sit down with his class and we talked for.
It was a while.
It was like an hour and a half.
It was a great, inspiring moment. So I was very grateful for it.
So yeah. So this is this is the future that we're focusing on right now. So and we're in good hands. So thank you very much for coming on seriously.
I still have the bar napkin that Chief scribbled on. I've got to frame it and probably hang it in the office one day, but yeah, so we sat down and we figured out, okay, what makes the most sense to help develop our rigors, since we already have it for the ejection, non-ejection side, right? We had to have a path forward.
In 10201, you have combat support, combat service support units. OSS is falling under that combat support. We support the warfighter.
The location, lack of experience and knowledge, you talked about that, Chief, about when you were an NCO, you felt like you were not prepared for the role.
You hear the argument of like, well, QCI isn't re-inspecting the whole gear, which is what those checklists turn into, of like pretty much every damn step to inspect it. So you're basically just re-inspecting it. So it's like a double-edged sword of how do I QC and what am I looking for against am I doing too much? Am I re-inspecting the whole piece of equipment? Trying to find that balance from a culture standpoint of like, how do I get after this and what's my intent of?
Anything that comes from you, like it's just auto-delete.
How's everybody doing? And before I get off the stage, I'm going to be selfish. Can everybody say, congratulations, Dr. Pope? Here we go, ready?
What were we saying?
Congratulations, Dr. Pope. Look, I want him to feel like a big deal. And he'll be like, oh man, look at my dad. He's talking to so many people. All right, you ready? 1, 2, 3.
Congratulations, Dr. Pope!
So hey, listen, today's theme is quality, right? Yep. Right, so we could talk about quality of equipment, but we already know that we put out safe service reliable equipment, right? Cool?
Let's first give a big warm welcome to our retired.
So when you do your suggestions, or your folks want to do a suggestion, make sure they detail it so you as a rater can understand it and the next guy above is going to understand it. That's the key to success with winning approval on suggestions.
But there was a rumor that the schoolhouse was moving. What happened to that?
I'm glad to see those guys move up into the senior NCO ranks. I probably neglected him a lot as a NCO and a senior NCO and there at Charleston. But I too, John, was active duty and I was a guardsman.
Yes, you were.
I was 17 and a half years active duty, made master, got the bright idea that I could make senior faster in the guard, and I went to the guard and that don't work.
And to my amazement, it was a beautiful quilt with the AFE and a bunch of aircraft around it.
So I wanted to thank Miss Joanne and give you a chief coin for that. Thank you so much. I have it hanging up in my office.
I live up here, and we're used to seeing the chiefs, up in front on a panel. But this is truly becoming something new, where now it's not just the chiefs as the leaders. This is truly the leaders of our career field that you're looking at up here, and that's where I'm thrilled to see this relationship continue to grow, and I want to have more of these things occur, where we now as a community view AFE from a slightly larger lens, and we're all going to benefit from that. So try to stay.
Why do I want to share this information with you guys? A couple reasons. And I wanted to make sure that the information was getting out there because we are very different in how we operate. I have always said that the product you receive from a guard unit should be exactly the same, if not potentially better, but how we get there is very, very different.
What were some of the topics that we talked about? Bold leadership. Speed to apprehended. That's a good point. Yeah. So today we're opening up and we're talking about innovative change. Obviously that's the definition according to our priorities.
I want to do it. There's no project too small or too big that we won't get after. I promise you. There's no dumb idea. If it fails, it fails. It's not a big deal. We're going to get after it no matter what. So I think Chief Simmet talked about it. He batted 300. That means he got out 700 times out of 1,000, right? So if you guys have ideas and you want to actually get after something, or you want to go back to your home unit and say, hey, you guys got anything? One of the things I always do, I used to team up with somebody. Go in twos. Ask for that wingman support. It's all about mutual support at that time. Tell them what to think. Ask the hard questions. And if you don't know how to ask the hard question, ask the simple question. Can you help me understand? This evening, at the Residence Inn, from 1700 to 2100, every single one of you is going to carve out some of your time in your schedule, and you're going to make your way over there. And Mr. Retired Chief Ted Poe and Ted Guard and the Safe Association have brought together a whole bunch of vendors. And they're going to have displays up, and you are going to go and you're going to interact with real vendors.
So when Chief Simmet came up with his idea, he needed to get buy-in from all of us, right? Not just the chiefs up here, but all the other chiefs that are not here and also here, he had to get buy-in. So we have a Chiefs only time that happens at AFE, and that's when we voted on his vision on where we want this to go.
So what are some of the things we can do as a career field to focus on self-improvement and not just improving our airmen below us?
You learn and you develop yourself, right? And then you grow, right? Just like you guys are all growing and learning. And I think that becomes infectious, right?
So I want to thank you so very much for lending us your greatest resource, which is your time. My family, my brothers and sisters, you guys are immensely close to me. We talk about that all the time. You mean the world. You're my wingmen and wing women, and I couldn't do anything without you, without the half team. But then it extends to you. You're the ones actually getting after it.